I'm going out on a limb today, and I'm going to make a bet with you, just in good fun and good spirit. I'm going to bet that I'm right on this one. I might be wrong, but I'm betting that I'm right. I bet you that if you started an LLC, you did not start an LLC because you went out and you did the research, you figured out how the LLC works, and now you understand that it's in your best interest to start an LLC. That's not why you started an LLC. You didn't start an LLC because you went out and you did the research on how LLCs are taxed, and now you understand it's in your best interest because you'll pay less tax with an LLC. That's not why you started an LLC. You started an LLC because most people that you know, your friends and family who've started businesses, they all started out with LLCs, so you automatically assumed that it was right for you. But the question is it the right structure for you? And how do you know that? One of the questions that I would ask myself now that I understand better is, if I was starting an LLC, how much taxes am I going to have to pay with an LLC? How is an LLC taxed? Why would I jump to taxes being paid? Simple, because self-employed people pay a lot of money in taxes. As a matter of fact, they pay too much money. The reason for that is because they don't understand the tax system most times, the tax laws, the rules, how they work, so you overpay. So we want to better understand the system so we can minimize our tax burden. Now, one of the questions that we can ask ourselves is, how is the LLC taxed? An LLC has to pay what is called self-employment taxes in the amount of 15.3%, right? Anybody who's self-employed generally pay self-employment taxes of 15.3%. Now, what is self-employment tax comprised of? Let's take a look at it. Self-employment tax is made up of Medicare and Social Security, right? 12.9% for Social Security and 2.4% for Medicare. That's how much money you're paying in total tax, that 15.3%. So if you make $100,000 in taxable income, you will pay $15,300 in self-employment taxes, right? Because as self-employed individuals, you don't get out of paying Medicare and Social Security. Just like if you were an employee, you had to pay Medicare and Social Security, the same thing we have to do as self-employed individuals. But there's a way that you can navigate this situation to make it less of a burden on you. For example, let's take this off real quick. So now, because you have an LLC, the LLC gives you some options. What it does is it allows for you to file a form, and I think that form is 2553. And filing this form, you're filing for S corporation status. So you're still an LLC, you just have an S corporation status. And what that means is I'm telling the IRS that I want to be taxed as an S corp. I'm an LLC, but I want you to tax me like you tax an S corporation. So now what that gives me the ability to do is to take my pay in two components, right? Instead of just having $100,000 in income and that income be taxed at 15.3%, this S corp is going to allow for me to break this $100,000 down into two pays. It's going to allow me to say, you know what? I want to take a portion of my pay in W-2 pay, and I want to take another portion of my pay in profit sharing, right? So we want to break this $100,000 down so that I don't have to pay 15.3% on $100,000. What this allows me to do is to pay 15.3% only on the W-2 income, right? So let's say I decided with my CPA to take a reasonable compensation of $40,000 and $60,000 in profit sharing. That means that I'm not going to pay $40,000, or excuse me, I'm not going to pay 15.3% on $100,000. I'm going to pay 15.3% only on my W-2 pay. Look at the savings in that. So $15,300 on the $100,000 and roughly $6,000 on the 40K. So I'm saving about 9K just with having an S election instead of using just an LLC. See, when you just have an LLC, you're going to pay a whole lot more money in taxes. We're talking about a $9,000 savings. Now think about what $9,000 additional dollars will help you do as a business owner. Maybe help out with payroll, maybe help you to make some advances in your business. It's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table when you just have an LLC. So I want you to talk to your CPA, your tax professional, about the S election and help them help you. Then you can decide whether or not if this is a good option for you. That's what I wanted to share with you today. The S election, I love it. It's a great way to minimize your taxes and to have the IRS see you as a corporation instead of just an LLC. And one last thing that I want to call to your attention is that we're talking about self-employment taxes here. This is a tax that's separate of your federal income taxes and your state taxes. So we need to do what's necessary to bring this tax down so it'll decrease our overall tax burden. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, how it works, I have a 5-video series. It's titled How the Load Movement Process Works. It gives you a chance to come into the office with me via video, and you can watch me as I move loads, talk to shippers and carriers to give you a better understanding of how this business works before you come into it. And then if you want to know how the load board works, how we use load boards as freight brokers to go out and source rates, also to go out and find carriers to move our loads, and to post our loads so that the trucking community can see those loads and call us to negotiate, I'll leave you a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.